Hey guys, let's start with the LeetCode question called Palindrome 2, and you can just give a read or the LeetCode. So let's start with a basic example, and let's see if this string AABB is a palindrome or not. So definitely it's not a palindrome, because if it refers it or just delete any character, will be left with the string which is not a palindrome. Let's see AABB. So if I choose to remove A, I will be left with ABB, or if I remove the B, I'll be left with AABB. And definitely you can see that it's not a palindrome string. Okay. Now let's talk about another palindrome, ABB. So in this string, we can clearly see that it's a palindrome string, and even after removing any single letter, we'll be always left with a palindrome, right? So let's see if we remove B. And if I remove B, we'll be left with ABA, and ABA is a valid palindrome. So we'll return true in this case. So let's take another LeetCode question example here. So the LeetCode example ABC. So here ABC, if we remove any single character, we are pretty much sure that it is not a palindrome string, because if we remove A, we'll be left with BC, and if we remove B, we'll be left with A and C, and if we remove C, we'll be left with AB. So all these strings are just not palindrome string like AB, BC, or even AC, right? So these three strings are not palindrome, and hence we have to return false in this case. But what's the case of ABCA? In this case, we can definitely see that if we remove the character C from the given string, then we'll be left with again ABA. And ABA, as you know, is a valid palindrome, and hence we have to return true in this case. Okay, so basically, if someone asks this in an interview, and if you're not able to come up with a solution, what you can do is that you can always apply the brute force solution. And in the brute force solution, what you have to do is that, okay, give a brute force solution. You have to just put up a for loop, and in that loop, you have to start removing. You have to start removing every character and check if the string is palindrome. Okay, so this is a very naive approach, but it works actually, and it is very time consuming, and you can actually it's longer than on. I can definitely say that. Okay, so let's move ahead. In this, we have a string ABC here. Now let's start with a two-point approach, which we are going to use for this question. So in this two-point approach, we have a left pointer, okay, and we have a right pointer. So the left pointer and right pointer are, the left pointer is pointing to the start of the string, and the right pointer is pointing to the end of the string. Now there are only two possible cases when we are dealing with the pointers. Okay, so these two pointers can initially point to the same characters. Like here we have A in the left pointer, and in the right pointer we have A. So these strings are just matching, or it can be just a different character. Okay, so the two pointer approach is just like imagine this. Okay, I will just let's erase this and build up a window of size, let's say anything. Okay, so initially we have A and A. Okay, if these two values are if the string is palindrome, you have to check for the inner value. Okay, because the outermost part is actually pretty much saying that yes, there's a possibility that the string can be palindrome, but we have to also check the inner value. So what we're going to do is that when we get a two equal value, so we have to decrement the window size. Decrement window size. Now, what do I mean by this? That as I said, that we do not need to check for this A and A. What you have to do is that we have to check for the inner element. Okay, and if the innermost string is actually palindrome, then we can definitely say that the string is palindrome and return true. So here we'll just what we can do is that if the in the case of matching, we can just increment the left pointer and decrement the right pointer. So L++ for incrementing the left pointer and decrementing R minus minus for decrementing the right pointer. Okay. Now just move ahead, and here this is basically telling you that the I is equal to start, and this is actually pointing to the end. Okay. If these if the characters are matching, what we can do is that we can increment the A, I, or we can decrement the J, and we can decrement the G value. So in the case of mismatch, so this is the area of interest we are actually want to look at. So what happens when these two values are there? Okay, Now, as I said, there are different possibilities. Okay, so now there can be a possibility that this could be something A B. Okay, this can be AB, right? So the innermost string is containing AB element, and the outermost strings are like the left pointer is here and the right pointer is here. So if I remove the right character, which is the C, I'm left with the string BAB, which is a palindrome string, right? But if I remove the B string, the left one, if I remove the left one, what I am left with is ABC, and ABC is from no angle is not a palindrome. So hence we have two options. Okay, in the case of mismatch, we have two different options. Can you guess it? Yes, you're right. First case one. Actually, I've written up the case, so no need to go over again. So we have two cases. Okay, we can just delete the this value and or we can just delete this value. Okay, so actually we're not doing any deletion operation inside the string. What we are actually doing is that we are just ignoring this part. Okay, we're just ignoring this x and just checking if this string is actually palindrome or not. And likewise for the y, we will just ignore this y and check for the string. If this is palindrome, then it's well and good, we can actually return the string is palindrome. Okay, so that's how we're gonna work. Can you tell me there's a next question for you. Okay, can you tell me how to check what is the length of the string, or basically the string which is which we'll get after removing the x value. So suppose this is at I and suppose this is at j. Okay, so what will, if I remove x, so what will be the answer I'm getting, what will the string I'll be getting? It was the string from I plus 1 to j. Okay, and if I remove y value, if I remove the y character, I'll be left with I to j minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we are decrementing the right pointer. The right pointer, we are just decrementing it and checking the string this, and we are checking the string this. Okay, um, after deletion we have to check. So I have written here, after deletion we have to check if the string is palindrome or not. Okay, so for this string we have to just pass it to the valid palindrome function and check if this is string is palindrome or not. So the function we have to write it separately. So guys, we are almost done with the solution. I will just write up the code here. We have a for loop here. You can just fill up this we are just iterating the strings, and we'll just iterate of the strings, and if there is a matching characters like the s and I'm sorry about you, it's not an for loop, it's a while loop. We'll put a while loop here, and we'll put a condition that l is r is greater than l. Okay, so if the characters are matching, then it's well and good, otherwise we'll do something. Okay, else so if the characters are matching, what we're going to do is that decrement the window size, right? And if the characters are not matching, what we're going to do is that we will do a return call. Why return call? Because suppose that I need to check that at most removing any element, if this string is becoming palindrome or not. So even if I remove a, and even if I remove this, if any of these, if this return true or if this return false, then I do an OR operation, this will be true. Okay, so basically, or it can be both true. So basically, what is happening in this case is that we're just checking. Okay, we're just checking if any of these values are returning true, and if any of these values are true, then we can definitely say that this is a palindrome string after removing of any after removing any character. So we'll just put a valid palindrome function. We will put a valid palindrome function, and the function we will have a string t. This is the original string, and we will put a start value, start plus 1 till end, and start plus 1 end, and we will have another valid palindrome. We'll have the same string here, string t, and for this we'll put an or operation, because if this return false, if this return false, we can definitely return false in the answer. But if upon executing this whole loop we are just decrementing the window size, that means we can definitely say that yes, this string is palindrome, right? So upon executing the whole loop we can return true, and here we can just take for the string t, and here we just decrement t, right pointer. So what is a valid palindrome function? So for those guys who are not aware of it, how it will work, I will just give you a glimpse. It will take the string t and it will again have a two pointer approach. So this two pointers can be actually based on the same thing. So if the characters are not matching, we can just say that we return false. But if the whole loop is actually executed, we can actually see that we are returning true. Okay. Okay. It's not even start. It's L and R. So this is the valid palindrome function, and this is actually the main function. And if you try to run it, you'll be able to get the answer. So I'm including the code in the link video